Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'll try to talk through what it was like to share my youth with Aaron, but I think most of the stories I'll have to keep to myself, except for a couple key memories here. Um, but the first time I met Aaron was in math class in 7th grade, where he was bored and I was puzzled and challenged. And at that point in my life, he was the guy that was wearing the Boys in the Hood jacket from the movie, and the kind of best thing that could happen would be as if you got to possibly wear that for the day and give it back. And so that was my real first frame of reference for Aaron, and kind of the intelligence and kindness and everything that he really was for all of us. But we did continue on through high school, and he was my prom date, and I was so honored to be his prom date. Even though he was so shy, he basically had Eric Chandel tell me that we were going to be prom dates. And I think he would be really pissed at me for telling the story, but if there's any place to tell the story, it's here. Jenny happened to be graduating from college the weekend of our prom, and Aaron had a great idea. Let's have the party at my mom's house. And he was smart about it, as he was about these sorts of things. He was responsible. He had a complete plan. Many of us were part of how this was pulled off. We duct taped the windows so there was no noise that would come out. We visited the neighbors ahead of time and let them know this is the number to call if you have any complaints. Do not call the police. We of course wanted to make sure nothing was ever broken or damaged or breathed on wrong. So we moved every single possession, including things that were hung on the walls, into the back rooms of the home, and we barricaded the doors so it was all preserved. And then we went on to have probably the most memorable party of my teenage years. We made a pile of people that were too wasted to stand up anymore. I think probably 50 people stayed the night at the house. We had the whole football team on the front lawn as our bouncers. He invited the school. So, anyone that's here that was in high school with us, you were at that party, there's no question. I think relationships started and stopped during that party. It was epic. And even though we were still wasted the next morning, we had taken pictures, or at least I did. We had Polaroid pictures of where to put things back on the walls. And I think the only thing that was really said was, the house is really clean. And why is this odd thing in our freezer? But that was like the only mess up that we had. So thank you, Jenny, for graduating when you did. And he never wanted that story to come out, really, so I'm very sorry. But you made us all a great memory that time. And I have so many more memories, but it's really tough to lose someone that you spent your teens and 20s with, and try to sum it up in a couple stories. There's so much music that continues to remind me of Aaron. If you were close to him during the era of CDs, he loved making mixed CDs, and I moved and actually found about 5 months ago probably 25 mixed CDs that Aaron would make, and he would make them and start distributing them to friends and family. And that was the soundtrack of my 20s, at least. He was brilliant in a way that I don't know if I've really met anyone else that was brilliant in that way. He was mathematical genius, which everyone can speak to, but I was studying for the bar, not the bar, the law school admission test, when we were together. And I was struggling with the content. It wasn't a good fit for me. I should have seen the writing on the wall at that point, but Aaron was my reader because I have a visual impairment. And so he was reading me the test questions and, helping me practice. And I was just shocked. Everything that I'd learned in my test prep course and that he had not taken, he was able to explain to me. And, he had none of the content, none of the information. It's just like in AP Physics. We didn't even have the textbooks to be able to take the AP Physics exam, and compete. He passed that and got a score that was worth college credit. He didn't have to take any of the lessons. He knew them.
Into the trailer now.
It's very difficult to try to speak about the rest of it, but I do have to say that if you really love someone, the only thing you want for them is happiness. And I know from a great distance, because I didn't have any involvement in his life in the end, but he was really, really happy. And if there's anything that I can dwell on, that's what you want for someone that you love. And so to just try to seal it in that moment of knowing that you achieve that nectar from the gods is, I'm happy for that. And I know that you can always carry someone with you through the memories, and I'm sure that a lot of us will.
I'm Ben. I'm his younger brother. I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but I'll try. I'll try to make it through. Everyone that has an older brother understands that you always look up to them and you always want to be like them. And the same was with me. I always wanted him to be proud of what I did and be stoked for me, and I always wanted to be part of his crew, as the Delias and that whole Rat Pack, understand? I didn't want to say the wrong thing when I was around him. I just wanted to be a part of the group. And super funny story is, as everybody knows, we had a 7-Eleven by our house, and we went there and we'd get a 2-liter of Dr. Pepper and a huge Bear Claw, and I was like, this is a stupid idea, but I'm gonna eat it, because he was like, hey, this is what we do, and I had to be a part of the group, and I got super sick, but I carried that on to my friend group. Colin probably understands. And so I always wanted to just super sad to lose him. I always wanted him to be proud. He has such a rad family. He loved his music, and I remember when, this is a funny story with my sister. I would sit at the counter, and when it was his turn to do the dishes, and it would take him like an hour and a half to get ready to do the dishes, because he'd have to have his boombox there and like all the right music and the best music, and I was like 5, and so I'd sit there and watch him, and it would literally take him an hour to get ready to do 12 minutes of dishes. At least. Yeah. And I always loved his music, and we would listen to the Beastie Boys, and I would drive around in this shitty Blazer, and we would drive way too fast, and I'd feel like the coolest kid that existed when I got to sit shotgun and not in the trunk, because all of his friends, Butler and he is, and everybody was sitting there. But I'm gonna miss him, and I really appreciate everybody that's here. And super hard to make it through without my friends' support. Lindsay, you've been awesome. My sister's been great. Really hard, but thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate it.